The Wolf, the Dog, and the Cat, a Ukrainian fairy tale. Once upon a time, there lived a peasant who had a dog. While the dog was young, he guarded his master's house. But when he grew old, his master chased him away. The dog roamed through the steppe, caught mice and what other little animals he could find there and ate them. One night, the dog saw a wolf coming towards him. "Hello, dog," the wolf said. The dog made a polite reply, and the wolf asked, "Where are you going, dog?" "While I was young," the dog explained, "my master was quite fond of me, for I watched over his house, you see. But when I grew old, he chased me away." "You must be very hungry, dog," said the wolf. "I am very," replied the dog. "Then come with me, and I shall feed you." So off the dog went with the wolf. Now their way lay through the steppe, and by the wolf saw a herd of sheep at pasture and said to the dog, "Go and see who those creatures are grazing there." The dog went and looked, and he soon came running back. "Those are sheep," he said. "A plague on them! If we try to eat them, we'll have our teeth full of wool and nothing but empty bellies to show for it. Let us go further, dog." So on they went, and by the wolf saw a flock of geese in the steppe. "Go and see who those creatures are browsing there," he said to the dog. The dog went and looked, and he soon came running back. "Those are geese," he said. "A plague on them! If we try to eat them, we'll have our teeth full of feathers and nothing but empty bellies to show for it. Let us go further." So on they went, and by the wolf saw a horse at pasture. "Go and see who that creature is feeding there," he said. The dog went and looked, and he soon came running back. "That is a horse," he said. "Well, he will be ours," said the wolf. So they ran towards the horse, and the wolf pawed at the ground and gnashed his teeth to make himself very angry. Said he to the dog, "Tell me, dog, is my tail quivering?" And the dog looked and said that indeed it was. "And now," said the wolf, "see if my eyes have grown blurry." "Indeed they have," the dog replied. Then the wolf sprang up, and he seized the horse by the mane, dashed him to the ground, and tore him to pieces. And he and the dog began to feast on the horse's flesh. The wolf was young and soon filled with his belly, but the dog was old, and he gnawed and still ate hardly anything. Other dogs ran up and drove him away. The dog set off down the road again, and coming towards him, he saw a cat as old as himself, who was roaming the steppe in search of mice. "Hello there, Brother Puss," said the dog. "Where are you going?" "I am going wherever the road takes me. When I was young, I served my master by catching mice. But when I grew old and slow, and my sight dimmed, my master stopped feeding me, and he turned me out of the house. So now here I am knocking about the world." "Then come along with me, Brother Puss," said the dog, "and I shall feed you." For the dog had decided to do just what the wolf had done. So the dog and the cat set off down the road together. By the dog saw a herd of sheep at pasture, and he said to the cat, "Go and see who those creatures are grazing there, Brother Puss." The cat went and looked, and he soon came running back. "Those are sheep," he said. "A plague on them! We'll have our teeth full of wool and nothing but empty bellies to show for it. Let us go further." So on they went, and by the dog saw a flock of geese in the steep. He said to the cat, "Run and see who those creatures are browsing there, Brother Puss." The cat went and looked, and he soon came running back. "Those are geese," he said. "A plague on them! We'll have our teeth full of feathers and nothing but empty bellies to show for it." And so the two of them went on their way. They walked, and by the dog saw a horse at pasture. Said the dog, "Run and see who that creature is feeding there, Brother Puss." The cat went and looked, and he soon came running back. "That is a horse," he said. "Well," said the dog, "we'll kill him, and then we'll have enough food and to spare." So the dog began to paw at the ground and to gnash his teeth, all to make himself very angry. Said he to the cat, "See if my tail is quivering, Brother Puss." "No," the cat replied, "it isn't." Then the dog began to paw at the ground again to make himself very angry indeed. Said he to the cat, "Isn't my tail quivering now, Brother Puss? Say that it is." The cat looked, and he said, "Well, yes, it is just a wee bit." "Watch and see, we'll soon get the better of the horse," said the dog, and he began to paw at the ground again. "See if my eyes have grown bleary, Brother Puss," said he after a while. "No, they haven't," the cat replied. "That is a lie. You must say that they have." "Very well, they have grown bleary, if you say so. I don't mind," said the cat. Then the dog flew into a temper, and he fell on the horse. But the horse kicked out with his hoofs, and he struck the dog on the head. And the dog fell to the ground, and his eyes popped out. And the cat ran up to him and said, "Ah, brother dog, now your eyes have indeed grown bleary."